It is important that when you're building resilience, that you are learning and getting knowledge from every place, whether you activate it or need it or not. And so listen, page 35. I'm going to give you a minute to get there. And if you're on my audiobook or on my Kindle, it's chapter 4, You've Been Framed. And it's the very opening of that. And it says, in order to transcend difficult times, we must have a framework for resilience and recovery. Our personal transformation framework enables us to rise above the times and any circumstances we find ourselves in. When technological advances will interrupt and disrupt our personal and professional lives. I'm going to say that again because what just recently happened? We had a disruption in our lives. And a disruption is something that we can't control. So how do you transcend or rise above the things you can't control? And it's this situation, it's our macroeconomic factors. It's digital advances that are moving faster than what we can keep up with. It's companies who are having to reset as a result of decisions that were made during the pandemic, and many of those have to be reversed or reset as a result of implications that happen with decisions that they made that have impacted many of our lives. So what do you do? How do you build a framework for resilience and a framework? Well, I say for anybody who understands the power of tapping into something much deeper, something much greater, I'm going to give you a couple of things to think about. Remember earlier when I was talking about corporations? Let me ask you a question. If a company has to build resilience, what makes us think we walk around here and we're just doing one thing and we pour all of our eggs in one basket? What makes us, so I'm going to give you an example of supply chain that have been disrupted, and supply chains have to become resilient. Resilience means that they have to diversify their supplier base. They have to diversify their technology. They have to go into other portfolios of capability. They have to future-proof themselves. Y'all understand? Y'all hear the words? Now, what's ironic, the irony in all of this is many of you show up, whether you have your own business or whether you're working for a company, you show up to accelerate these goals for companies that you don't do for yourself. So here you are sitting at the desk doing what you do, helping the company become more diversified, helping the company to have competitive differentiation, helping the company to pull together a portfolio that's unique for them so they can go off and personalize experiences for customers or whatever that looks like, but you're doing the same thing every day. Now, what kind of sense does that make that every day you show up to empower a company that's doing what you're doing for them, you're not doing for yourself? I will tell you what. So if a company has to future-proof themselves and become shock-proof, why are you not becoming shock-proof? If a company has to build resilience in their business, build resilience in their supply chain, build resilience in their health ecosystem, build resilience within their entire end-to-end portfolio of products, so that when it hits the market and things don't work out, they can sustain, transcend beyond the times. Why are you sitting there every day doing this work for them that you're not doing for yourself? And I love all of y'all. I don't mean to fuss. Well, you know what? I take that back. Yes, I do. Because sometimes we don't hear unless someone comes and helps you to emphasize the things that are critical and important. And so, I read this. This is an article, Shockproof with Resiliency. This was written by Ari Lightman from Carnegie Mellon. And what I love about her approach to this, again, and to be honest with you, she was talking about companies. Okay, but I'm going to read something to you, and I want you to think about you. Because, like I said, if we're going off doing this work for corporations, why in the world are we not building up resilience for ourselves so that we can sustain the times? She opens up and says, at any moment, any company can take a hit that might impede its ability to produce and sell its goods or services. In other words, it may be disrupted. When this happens, the company's resiliency is put to test. What does it mean to be resilient? Can we measure our resilience capacity? Oh, that's so good. We need to be measuring our own resilience capacity. What I loved about this is the very next thing she talks about. She goes through a series of steps, and we're not going to go through all of them because there's some other things that I want us to kind of talk through. But she says moving from blame to reframe. She says we need to forget trying to assess blame, but rather reframe our thinking and deconstruct the mental model and assess the current situation. Now that's a whole word. Mental. Listen, this is hard. The very first thing that people will walk up and say, oh, I'm so sorry. If there's anything I can do to help, I apologize. If there's something I can do to help you get through this tough time, I'll open up my network. Oh, I have a lot of empathy. Nothing happened to me, but, I saw something happen to you and I'm just so sorry. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you just won't hear that coming from me because many times it's not that people don't care. Please don't get me wrong. When people come up and tell you that, oh, you lost your job, I'm so sorry. I literally don't want to hear that again. Literally. So when people call me and say they've lost their job, if they're waiting on me to say that, that's not the response I give. What I say is, what problem are you getting ready to go solve next? Your work is about solving problems. And so if you're solving problems in an industry, the tech industry is getting ready to go through a downturn. So then what other industries are out there that you can go and solve problems for? The government industry is doing very well. So maybe you're going to have to do something in government. Maybe you're going to have to go start something on your own and have many contracts where you're doing multiple businesses and consulting. Maybe you're going to have to do something in retail that you don't want to do for a little while. Or maybe you're going to have to go and have your own car business, driving Uber or Lyft and doing delivery. Maybe because you make such good cookies, you're going to go and create you a cookie company. Because we love cookies, by the way. You're not going to get that from me. You're not going to get the empathetic, I'm sorry. I've been let go so many times. There's so many contracts that then you have to build a system of, and that's what we're getting ready to go through. I'm going to tell you my system. It's a system of faith, but we're going to go through it. Mental. You got to get your mind right. You got to get your mind right. Thriving in chaos. Very first thing, this contributor from Forbes, Jeff Boss. Thriving in chaos. Very first thing, your thoughts. Reframe your thoughts. Thoughts, thinking, mind. And so you go from, I don't know what I'm going to do, Now, don't get it twisted. You need that moment to go sit and cry and eat ice cream and do the things that you do you need a moment. You got to have that. But you're here to solve problems. You're too brilliant. You're too brilliant. Do you understand? So you tap into the next set of brilliancy. It's our thinking. And so what I love about why it is that as human beings, we're so complex, we can achieve so much. And you know what? I was going to go through 4 steps, but you know what? Before we go through those 4 steps, because we are going to do this thing, we're going to do a part 2. Part 2, we'll go through the 4 steps. But let me tell you how I get through. This is Unicorn Unleashed with Trice.